What if 80% of your success could come from just 20% of your actions? This one rule can transform your productivity and your life. The secret to success isn't working harder, it's working smarter. And the answer lies in a principle that most people ignore. Welcome to today's video, where we're diving into the game-changing concept known as the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. This idea has been a cornerstone for top performers, entrepreneurs, and high achievers across every field. But what exactly is the 80-20 rule, and how can it transform the way you approach work, goals, and life? Imagine focusing only on the few actions that make the biggest impact. That's what the 80-20 rule is all about. Stick with me as we uncover how to identify and leverage that powerful 20%. The 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto principle, is a principle that says 80% of outcomes come from 20% of causes. In other words, most of your results are driven by just a small portion of your actions or inputs. Think about it. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. So, where did this idea come from? The 80-20 rule was first observed by an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto in the late 19th century. Pareto noticed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the population. Intrigued by this pattern, he started looking around and found similar imbalances in other areas like wealth distribution and even his own garden, where 20% of the pea plants produced 80% of the peas. Here's a well-detailed explanation on how to apply the 80-20 rule effectively in your life, broken down into actionable steps. Identify your high-impact activities. The first step in applying the 80-20 rule is to pinpoint the 20% of activities that generate 80% of your results. This requires honest reflection on your part and a bit of data analysis. How to do it? Audit your time. Track everything you do in a day or week. Write down tasks and time spent. Analyze results. Look at which activities contribute most to your goals. For example, if you're a student, which study techniques actually help you retain information? If you're a business owner, which clients or products bring in the most revenue? Example: if you're working on a side hustle, you might discover that networking with key people brings in more opportunities than spending hours perfecting your website design. Focus on networking. Pro tip: ask yourself, if I could only do one thing today that would make everything else easier or unnecessary, what would it be? 2. Set clear goals and priorities. Without clear goals, it's impossible to know where to focus your energy. The 80-20 rule is only effective when aligned with your vision for success. I made a video about goals. Check it out to have an in-depth knowledge on this topic, and I'll also leave a link to the video down in the descriptions. How to do it. Define your big picture goals, e.g., financial freedom, better health, career advancement, better relationships, or learning a new skill. It could be anything. Break those goals into smaller milestones. Align your daily tasks with these milestones. Example: if your goal is to get fit, focus on the 20% of exercises, like compound movements, squats, deadlifts, that deliver 80% of the results rather than wasting time on endless isolation exercises. 3. Eliminate or delegate the non-essential. 80%. Once you've identified your high-impact activities, it's time to let go of the low-impact tasks that eat up your time and energy. How to do it? Eliminate. Stop doing tasks that don't serve your goals. For example, cut unnecessary meetings or avoid scrolling on social media. Delegate. If a task needs to be done but doesn't require your expertise, delegate it. For instance, hire a virtual assistant to handle routine emails or chores. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." 4. Double down on your strengths. The 80-20 rule encourages you to focus on what you're naturally good at and passionate about. When you concentrate on your strengths, you maximize your impact. How to do it? Identify your core competencies, skills or activities you excel at that also create value. delegate or avoid tasks outside your strengths. Example: if you're a writer, spend more time crafting content and less time on graphic design by hiring a designer. Peter Drucker said, "Do what you do best and outsource the rest." Use the 80-20 rule in relationships. Relationships are a crucial part of life, and the 80-20 rule applies here too. Focus on the 20% of relationships that bring 80% of your happiness and fulfillment. How to do it? Spend more time with people who love, inspire, appreciate, and support you. Reduce interactions with those who drain your energy or add negativity. Example: instead of trying to maintain a superficial connection with everyone, invest deeply in your closest friendships and family bonds. 6. Track and measure progress. To fully embrace the 80-20 rule, you need to track your progress and refine your approach over time. How to do it? Use metrics to evaluate whether your 20% tasks are producing results. For example, track sales numbers, health progress, or study outcomes. Reassess regularly, every month or quarter, and adjust your focus as needed. Example: if you're a content creator, check analytics to see which 20% of your videos bring in 80% of your views or revenue. Then create more content like that. 7. Simplify your goals. The beauty of the 80-20 rule lies in its simplicity. Avoid overcomplicating your goals. How to do it? Focus on one or two major objectives at a time. Break these into smaller, manageable tasks. Famous. Quote: Bruce Lee said, "It is not the daily increase, but the daily decrease." Hack away at the unessential. 8. Celebrate small wins. Recognize the power of small victories that result from focusing on high-impact actions. This keeps you motivated and reinforces good habits. How to do it? At the end of each week, review your achievements. Reward yourself for hitting key milestones. Example: if your 20% focus is improving fitness, celebrate sticking to your workout routine for a month by treating yourself to something that supports your journey, like new workout gear. Now, these numbers 80 and 20 aren't always exact, but the pattern is what's important. The main takeaway: a small percentage of your efforts produce the majority of your results. This principle became widely recognized because it highlights something crucial. Not all efforts are created equal. Instead of spreading your energy across everything, the 80-20 rule teaches us to focus on the vital few actions that make the biggest difference. It's about prioritizing the important over the urgent. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever noticed that only a few of your tasks really move the needle? Maybe just a couple of key habits, like exercising or planning your day, bring most of your progress. That's the 80-20 rule in action, even if you didn't realize it. By understanding these key points, you'll be able to present the 80-20 rule as a powerful framework for improving productivity, prioritizing tasks, and achieving greater results in less time. Let me know if you'd like examples or further elaboration. If you're still watching at this point, great news. There's even more value coming your way. But first, if you've gotten any value from this video or my channel in general, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and makes sure this video reaches more people who are interested in content like this. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. All right, let's dive back in. Here are some real-world examples of famous people using the 80-20 Rule 1. Bill Gates. Microsoft's focus on key products. Bill Gates didn't try to create every type of software. He focused on a few key products that would dominate the industry. Microsoft's early success came from prioritizing Windows and MS-DOS, which became the foundation of the company. These few products generated the majority of Microsoft's revenue following the 80-20 principle. Second, Oprah Winfrey. Prioritizing her core strength. Oprah Winfrey built a media empire by focusing on her strengths: storytelling and deep, meaningful conversations. Instead of trying to do everything in the entertainment industry, she concentrated on TV talk shows, which became the foundation of her brand. That small but powerful focus turned her into one of the most influential women in media. 3. Elon Musk. Prioritizing innovation over everything else. Elon Musk runs multiple companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and The Boring Company. But even with these ventures, he applies the 80-20 rule by focusing only on the few tasks that matter most. He spends most of his time on engineering and product development, because those are the high-impact activities that drive innovation and revenue, while delegating everything else to his teams. 4. Jeff Bezos. Amazon's 80/20 e-commerce strategy. Amazon started as an online bookstore, but Jeff Bezos quickly realized that only a few product categories, books, electronics, and household items, drove most of the company's revenue. Instead of selling everything at once, he focused on these key categories, mastered them, and expanded Amazon into a global giant. 5. Steve Jobs. Simplifying Apple's product line. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, the company was making dozens of different products, many of which weren't successful. He applied the 80/20 rule by cutting 70% of Apple's product line and focusing on just 4 core products: the Mac, iPod, iPhone, and iPad. That decision turned Apple into one of the most valuable companies in the world. 6. Warren Buffett. Focused investing for maximum returns. As mentioned earlier, Warren Buffett invests in only a few select companies that he deeply understands. Instead of diversifying into hundreds of stocks, he applies the 80/20 rule, putting most of his money into a small number of high-value investments that generate the majority of his wealth. As you can see, some of the most successful people in the world didn't try to do everything. They focused on the few things that truly mattered. Their 20%, and that's what led to massive success. Now, let's talk about how you can apply this rule to your own life. The 80/20 rule can completely transform the way you work, think, and achieve results. Now, here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, track your tasks and identify the 20% that drive 80% of your progress. Then focus on those and cut out the distractions. I'd love to hear what you discover. Drop a comment below with your biggest realization. So, we've just explored the 80/20 rule and how a small percentage of your actions drive most of your results. But here's the real game changer. How do you actually make those high-impact choices consistently? That's where micro decisions come in. From hitting snooze in the morning to choosing to read one page of a book, these micro decisions seem insignificant, but over time they create massive shifts in your life. The 80/20 rule can completely transform the way you work, think, and achieve results. Now, here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, track your tasks and identify the 20% that drive 80% of your progress. Then focus on those and cut out the distractions. I'd love to hear what you discover. Drop a comment below with your biggest realization. So, we've just explored the 80/20 rule and how a small percentage of your actions drive most of your results. But here's the real game changer. How do you actually make those high-impact choices consistently? That's where micro decisions come in. From hitting snooze in the morning to choosing to read one page of a book, these micro decisions seem insignificant, but over time they create massive shifts in your life. Every single day, you're faced with tiny choices: what to focus on, what to ignore, whether to take action or delay. At first glance, these decisions seem minor, but over time, they shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately, your future. Think about it. What separates someone who maximizes the 20% that truly matters from someone stuck in busy work? It all comes down to these micro decisions. 1 extra rep at the gym, 5 more minutes of reading, choosing focus over distraction. These are the decisions that separate success from stagnation. So, if you want to take control of your future, it's not just about knowing the 80/20 rule. It's about mastering the small daily choices that actually put it into action. We often think that major life changes come from big, bold decisions, quitting a job, moving to a new city, or launching a business. But in reality, our future is shaped by something much smaller and more subtle: micro decisions. These tiny, seemingly insignificant choices, whether to hit snooze or wake up early, to read a book or scroll through social media, create ripple effects that determine our success, happiness, and personal growth. Understanding the power of micro decisions and how they relate to the 80/20 rule can help us make better choices for a brighter future. Every single day, you're faced with tiny choices: what to focus on, what to ignore, whether to take action or delay. At first glance, these decisions seem minor, but over time, they shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately, your future. Think about it. What separates someone who maximizes the 20% that truly matters from someone stuck in busy work? It all comes down to these micro decisions. 1 extra rep at the gym, 5 more minutes of reading, choosing focus over distraction. These are the decisions that separate success from stagnation. So, if you want to take control of your future, it's not just about knowing the 80-20 rule. It's about mastering the small daily choices that actually put it into action. We often think that major life changes come from big, bold decisions, quitting a job, moving to a new city, or launching a business. But in reality, our future is shaped by something much smaller and more subtle: micro decisions. These tiny, seemingly insignificant choices, whether to hit snooze or wake up early, to read a book or scroll through social media, create ripple effects that determine our success, happiness, and personal growth. Understanding the power of micro decisions and how they relate to the 80-20 rule can help us make better choices for a brighter future. What are micro decisions? Micro decisions are the small, everyday choices we make without much thought. They include deciding whether to eat a healthy meal or grab fast food, choosing to invest time in learning a new skill or watching TV, picking between saving money or making an impulse purchase. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, explains that improving just 1% every day leads to 37 times improvement in a year. This is the power of micro decisions. Small improvements may seem trivial today, but they lead to massive growth in the long run. Stay consistent. One good micro decision won't change your life, but making the right small choices consistently will. Whether it's exercising, networking, or studying, the key is to stick with it long enough to see the results compound. Want to take this even further? Check out my video on the power of micro decisions and how small choices shape your future next. It'll show you how to maximize your productivity even more. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps more people see this content. And if you're serious about leveling up your life and unlocking peak performance, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future videos. Send this to a friend or someone you feel might need this on their journey to personal development.